I saw myself taking flight and soaring over the houses, the streets, the kids on bikes, and the barking dogs. There was no question in my mind that I could do it, even though I hadn't done it yet. With my knees bent, calves pressed together, head tilted back, and eyes closed, I prepared to lift off, my blonde hair glistening in the sun like that of any other fairy princess. My status as fairy princess was mostly invisible to adults. I didn't care if my shirt was on backward or inside out. I didn't care if it was food-stained. And at the moment, my pink t-shirt with ponies on it was splotched with spaghetti sauce because I had used it to wipe my face off during dinner the previous evening. And even though it was still morning, the bottoms of my feet were already black. Not only because shoes were a nuisance, but because I knew that shoes would be little more than an encumbrance during flight. Full of self-confidence and trust that this was the day I'd become the fairy princess version of Superman, I gathered my will, pressed my toes into the landscape log that served as my launch pad, readied myself for the leap. Even though it was only spring, the temperature neared 100 degrees in Phoenix. Mom and Dad were at work, my sister Kyla was sitting in her first-grade class, and I was home with Grandma. Being a 3.5-year-old alone with Grandma all day required imagination and creativity. My little mind could only be entertained so long with card games and cooking. Unlike other girls my age, I had no desire to help Grandma in the kitchen while she cooked and baked. I was too much of a tomboy for that. The only time I came into the kitchen was when there was brownie batter to clean out of the bowl. I magically appeared the moment the batter was poured into the pan, and the sweet, sugary smell of it permeated the house. It had been a typical morning. I slept while everyone else in the house showered and rushed off to work and school, limbs sprawled out in every direction among tangled blankets and stuffed animals. Around 9 a.m., I stumbled half awake from my bed to the couch and began watching Grandma's favorite morning show, The Price is Right. Grandma would yell out prices from the kitchen and squeal when she was right, and she usually guessed better than the contestants on the show. After fully waking up, I half bounced, half trotted toward the kitchen table, where Grandma served me homemade oatmeal with brown sugar, fresh berries, and cream. After breakfast, we usually played a game of skip-bo before she returned to the kitchen to attend to whatever baked goods or casserole was coming out of the oven. When Grandma returned to the kitchen, I returned to my bedroom and pulled off my pajamas, which remained wherever they landed, regardless of how many times my mother pointed out the laundry basket in which I was supposed to deposit them. As far as I was concerned, what she called a laundry basket found better use as a fort, sled, or other tool for my adventures. I grabbed a pair of shorts and a tank top with no concern for style, color, or pattern. The change of clothes was only to appease the adults who valued getting dressed before going outside. And making my way outside was important because I wanted the expansiveness of the open sky to engage in my favorite activity, learning to fly. The front yard was my training ground. In the corner of the yard were 3 logs creating stairs to the sky. The longest log was almost longer than I was tall. They were meant as decoration, not as stairs, but I climbed them until I was standing on the tallest log. Seeing the ground far below me, I closed my eyes and began moving my arms up and down, mimicking what I had seen birds do as they took flight. When my legs felt power-charged and my entire body seemed light enough to lift off as easily as a balloon released to soar, I bent my knees and leaped into the air.